What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I thought it would be fitting to start out this video the only way that I should start out a video on Thanksgiving, with giving 3 things that I am thankful for. The first 2 are friends and family, and even though it might sound cliche, I really am thankful for those 2 things. Number 3, and the reason why we're sitting in this spot right now, is I'm thankful to have the opportunity and the ability to run. A lot of people don't get to experience that, and that is something that brings me so much joy and brings a lot of people I know so much joy, and I just wish more people could experience that. So I am very thankful for that. Now, the reason I am sitting in this exact spot right now is because I'm going to start out Thanksgiving the only way anybody should start out Thanksgiving, with a 5K turkey trot. So the plan is to do a few miles warm up, and then during the actual race, do 6 iterations of 1 minute on at a fast pace, high heart rate, 2 minutes off at a lower heart rate like MAF, and then after I'm done with those 6, finish out the rest of the workout as cool down miles for a total of 7 miles today. 5K turkey trot, 2021. Let's hit it. So just before the race started, I forgot to put the SD card in. This is my drone still. We're gonna take this first like half mile, get nice and warmed up, and then start on the intervals. That's how we're gonna do it today. All right, this is gonna prove to be a little bit harder than I thought, but just patched up half a mile. I'll start on the intervals now. Let's go. I just finished up interval number 3 on a rest period. Forgot how many hills there were on this course. Typical of a 5K though. Got about 1 minute left, and then final half mile interval, or final 2 minute or 1 minute interval. We might have time for maybe one 30-second interval. So I'll probably be the sprint across the finish line. Let's go. All right, looks like we timed it perfectly. 10 seconds and then sprint. 30 seconds.
Such nice weather we had for the race today. That rain held off, and we appreciate that. We once again want to thank you guys for spending just a little bit of your holiday morning with us when you could be nice and warm in your beds. You're instead out here slightly chilled and running. So we appreciate that.
All these people stopped at the end of the finish line. Got more running to do. See behind me, finish line. Everybody bunched up at the end of the finish line. Usually happens, but I think that's really stupid. People should stop doing that, because someone's blazing through the finish line. It's probably not a good idea to just stop right at the end of the finish line. not sure what the time was, really don't care, honestly. Judged it perfectly, did about 0.6, 0.75 miles of a warm-up, and then went straight into the first set of intervals. Let me tell you what, still don't like 5Ks. I think the longer distances are better because you get to get into a groove. So something super important that I always forget is to run my own race. And because I plan to not actually race today and to do my workout, the interval workout, I ran my own race. And honestly, it was a lot more enjoyable than trying to just be at the front the entire time and just go as hard as I can. So, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't hard, but it was hard because I needed it to be hard to get better for marathon prep. I just want to hammer in the point. It's really important to run your own race, whether that's a 5K or half mile or whatever, marathon, any distance. But even in life too, run your own race, stay in your lane. Don't worry about what other people are doing because you'll get caught up in comparing yourself. And I know I've done that a lot, and it just leaves you in a bad mental place. And you can't make as much progress if you're looking at everybody else all the time and you don't just put your head down, focus on what you're doing. So run your own race. So I ended up running somewhere around 8 miles instead of 7 miles because I thought 3.75 plus 4.25 equaled 7. But it's more miles on my feet and more calories burned, which means I can eat more today than I thought I could. But I want to do a little bit of an experiment. So as of right now, with camera in hand, I'm 143.2 pounds. Now the experiment is to see how much I'm going to weigh at the end of the day right before I go to bed. I'm thinking that I'm going to gain between 5 and 6 pounds. Just after 10 o'clock, and I'm starting to really feel the effects of the training yesterday and today, especially the leg day that I did yesterday. My guess is that I gained about 3 pounds. Looking back on the footage, I was 143.2 pounds, and I just weighed in at 149 flat. So it looks like I gained 5.8 pounds just from food. That is crazy. I planned this week to burn more calories, do a workout that was going to burn more calories and put me in a higher deficit, and I knew that tomorrow I'm going to have 2 workouts that's going to put me in about the same deficit. So I went in today knowing that I could just do really whatever I wanted to with how much I ate today, and as long as I focused on eating a lot of protein, I'd be fine. The carbs, not so much, but hopefully that'll help me to have a couple of really good workouts tomorrow. We are currently 18 minutes into a 30 to 40 minute sauna session, and I'm doing a sauna session today instead of any running or lifting workouts. About 3 hours ago, I started to get a migraine. Now, I didn't get the headache that usually comes with a migraine, because a migraine isn't just a bad headache. However, I did get the visual auras that made me just super nauseated, and the plan was to come to the gym around 6 o'clock and do a shoulder-based workout, but that didn't happen, obviously, because I wasn't feeling very good. And so all of that in combination, I just thought, it's probably a good thing that I come and do a sauna session, sweat out any toxins that I have, and just give my entire body a break from all the training that I've been doing. Sipping on G1M Sport to make sure that I get in sodium for all the electrolytes that I'm sweating out, along with Intraflight to just help with recovery, and then some creatine and strong joints. And just like that, 40-minute sauna session complete. Look at all that sweat. Wow. Need some electrolytes after this. Let's go home. So it's been a week. Just got back from a 16-mile run in 2 hours, 19 minutes. Let's talk about how the training is progressing so far, and then I want to talk a little bit about the book that I started reading called Atomic Habits by James Clear. But first, we got to replenish some calories, so let's eat. Upgrades. Let's talk about this book that I started reading called Atomic Habits. So the first chapter of this book basically explains and introduces the idea that to be able to make a big change in your life, you have to start at a very small level. An atom is the smallest unit of anything. It's the whole entire reason why this book is called Atomic Habits. For example, in the book, it talks about how making one little change or trying to be 1% better at something every single time you do it over the course of a week, a month, even a year, you might not see too much change or too much success. But if you keep doing that consistently, trying to get 1% better at that, I might look back in 5 years and say, wow, I grew this business to X amount of dollars, or I have X amount of employees working for me now. And I am so much farther than I ever thought I would be if I didn't try to become just 1% better every single time. 1% better at something might look like just doing a day-to-day thing. So for example, in my business, I'm not doing these amazing projects every single day and getting all these new opportunities. One day it might be, I learned how to use Intuit QuickBooks a little bit better so that I can better manage my money. Now, chapter 2 introduces the idea that the most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but who you wish to become. For example, if somebody has a bad habit like smoking, if someone comes along and offers them a cigarette, you can either say, no thanks, I'm trying to quit, or no thanks, I'm not a smoker. And if you choose to say the second response, in your mind, something's going on that's saying, wait a minute, I'm not a smoker or an alcoholic anymore. I'm a different person. I'm changing the way that I'm thinking, and then from that, my habits and the outcomes are going to change. Because I ran a lot and used to only run, I became pretty good at running. And then I took a hiatus because I wanted to get bigger and lift weights and become stronger. I tried to come back to running, and it sucked. It hurt all the time. One thing that I started to remind myself is that it doesn't matter how fast I'm going or where I am in my running fitness at the moment, I am a runner. I have to suffer through the things that come with being a runner, like suffering through the hard runs that maybe I don't want to go out for because it's 20 degrees outside, or I'm tired, or any of those just BS excuses that don't have any place in my mindset if I want to become a better runner. And then finally, chapter 3 talks about the habit loop, which is cue, craving, response, and reward. And the example that it gives in this chapter is, if you're on your way to work and you see a donut shop, there's a cue. That cue of seeing the donut shop then triggers a craving, which means, hey, I want a donut. Donuts taste good. Let's go get a donut. You stop and get a donut. That's the response. And then the reward is, oh man, this donut tastes so good, it's so tasty, it's satisfying my craving. So then every time you drive past that donut store on your way to work, it's going to give you another cue because of the reward that you got last time you did that habit. And you might not know, but these things are happening in your mind all the time in split seconds. I don't know how chapter 3 ends because I got a misprint of the book. But once I do figure out how chapter 3 finishes out and what the main idea of it is, I'll be sure to let you know. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about how marathon training is going so far. So as of right now, we are exactly 8 weeks out from the marathon. I think I might be overreaching. Now there's training to where you're recovering well and everything's going well and you're getting better, and then there's overtraining where obviously you're overtraining, you're starting to get injured, things aren't progressing, you're actually going backward. And then there's overreaching where if you do overreach, sometimes it can be a good thing because it can give you a boost in your training. I don't know if I'm really training well with heart rate because both my heart rate monitors are bad and I can't use them anymore. And when I get a new heart rate monitor, hopefully it'll be more consistent and I can trust it a lot better. When I decided I was going to get back into running over a year ago, I said I'm going to just take this year, build up strength, build up my endurance again. So hopefully by the time I start training for another marathon, my base will be there and I'll be able to feel pretty good running, and I'll be able to push it and get faster, and everything will be fine and dandy. But that's not the case. I just gotta try to figure out how to optimize recovery, optimize performance, and deal with the punches as they come. So see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.